With the click of a button, you can make documentation of your script, function, and class files in MATLAB so much easier. Take a look. Right up here, if I click this little button, I get a pre-defined template that gives me suggestions on how to document code. This is kind of standardized. Notice I have the script name, what information, the outputs that it produces, examples of code that I might want to use associated with the script file, other functions, and then also author name, work name, etc. Later we'll see function file, same thing with the click of the button. I get a function title that includes code documentation suggestions, the first description line, additional information, desired syntax, inputs, outputs, examples. So much easier than writing all this stuff from scratch. To create your own buttons like this, go ahead and search Benjamin Pillot, that's Benjamin and then P-I-L-L-O-T, the word new and then MATLAB. Notice that the first link that comes up is actually Benjamin Pillot's MATLAB Central link. This is a user created function. If you go down to his file exchange, all the way at the bottom, there's this new.m file, which is dynamical and documented headers. If you click on that link, you'll get to a location where you can actually download. This relates to two previous videos. The first one is how to document code. And then the second one was how to get connected with MATLAB's online community. This is an example where an online user created a resource that makes our lives a lot easier. For you watching at home, go ahead and click download. MATLAB will prompt you to put in your email address. That's exactly what I'll do now. Now that I'm logged in, I can hit the download button. I'll go ahead and do this. MATLAB will download and then I'm going to unzip. Notice I have this M file header template. When I look inside, there's going to be actually 4 files that I'm going to look at. One of them is called new.m. Then I'm going to have default script, default function, default class. Now that I have all those files in this location that I just downloaded, what we're going to do is go into MATLAB and check out userpath. Notice that the users.jef.documents.matlab, this is where MATLAB expects to find files that I'm going to call. In other words, what I'm going to do is actually just click and drag these new files from my file into that exact user path that I have. So here I'm in users.jef.documents. So I go into the documents and then MATLAB. Notice I've already clicked and dragged the new.m file in there, as well as the default class function and script file, which means I can run the new command on any of those files and I can produce the desired output. The last step of this process is actually going to be to add these little buttons. And to do that, let's go over to favorites. These are now called favorites. In previous generations of MATLAB, these were called shortcuts. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and delete some of those favorites just so you can see that it's really not hard to add. So I'm going to delete my class favorite or my script favorite, my function favorite, and also my class favorite. And then we'll just add each of those individually. Notice those buttons are now disappeared, which means I can't actually call that. So let's go ahead and add a new favorite. And I'm going to call this function new, which is the function that I just downloaded. And then the first one we're going to do is script file. Let's go ahead and go to the favorite icon command, and we'll call it lowercase s for script. It's going to be a documented script file. So command summary goes here, creates a script file with dynamic heading and documentation. Okay, let's add to the quick access toolbar, and then we'll show the label on the quick access toolbar. Let's save. Check that out. Ooh, I don't know if I like that whole long thing, so let me go right over here. I don't even know if I want anything. So maybe we show label. I don't want the show label. So let's do this. I don't want the show label. So let's go ahead and do that again and save. So notice now it's just a little S subscript and it creates a new script file. If I click that, check this out. Now I have my script file with all the documentation. Let's add another one. So let's go down to new favorite. And in this case, what we're going to do is we'll say that it's going to be a new, and instead of a script file this time, it's going to be a function file. We'll add to the quick access toolbar. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down until F, as in function, and we'll save, and there's my function. And then the last one we're going to do, of course, is class. We're not going to talk a lot about classes, so this creates a new class file with dynamic headers. Okay, and then that will be new and class, and we'll add, and of course this is going to be lowercase c in this case, so S for script, F for function, C for class, and we will save. Now if I click function, check that out, I get the dynamically updated function file. All of that at my fingertips. I'm going to go ahead and delete these. I don't need them. For those of you viewing at home, what's really cool about this is if you go back into your user path, again, you can always just type in the command user path and it will tell you where to save these documents. Anytime you're creating your own functions, this is a great place to save it. In this case, we didn't create this function. Dr. Benjamin Pillot created this function, but we see that the new command, I can open that. So I can actually see Dr. Benjamin Pillot's code that creates this. It's kind of fun if you wanted to read through that. And then similarly, I can open the default script and I could change this if I wanted to. I could actually add comments. I could delete some of the stuff. I could really dynamically update my headers to make documentation much easier. Same thing with function and class. So these are kind of the default versions. And if you look through this code, when we type in script, what this new function does is actually goes into the default _script file, opens one of those, and then creates it as if I was typing new script. We're going to use this later in the class to make documentation much easier, so I'm encouraging you all to do this. For you viewers that are not in my classes, this is still a really, really good mechanism to make documentation easy as you use MATLAB in your professional lives. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for your attention. I'll see you in the next one.